Hello, everybody. This is Samus Mahomes here. I am currently right now live. So, got some interesting news. Why don't we just start off the bat? We got Mark Sanchez getting into a bit of an altercation here. Even got a little bit of video from NBC. Just a minute. All right, and I'm going to go here to the right there. Looks like published today. Been a week since one of the strangest NFL-related stories in recent years emerged out of nowhere before taking a series of bizarre twists and turns. And, god dang it, these ads are intrusive. And it's just a matter of time before someone obtains and releases video of the instance that resulted in the stabbing and eventual arrest of former quarterback and current Fox analyst Mark Sanchez in Indianapolis. Sanchez allegedly approached a 69-year-old truck driver with a complaint regarding where the vehicle was parked. Sanchez allegedly claimed that the hotel manager told Sanchez the truck was parked in an improper spot. Apparently this guy was doing wind sprints beforehand and parked in some alleyway, which is some very bizarre behavior. Sanchez allegedly... the situation went downhill from there, with Sanchez allegedly battering the truck driver, Perry Toll, before Toll delivered a blast of pepper spray to Sanchez's face, which did not have a strong effect on him, which has got some disturbing implications. When Sanchez allegedly kept moving toward Toll, Toll stabbed Sanchez multiple times. For now, bits or pieces of visual evidence are emerging. Man, I should have proofread this. The New York Post posted a video earlier in the week of Sanchez walking in downtown Indianapolis after the altercation with blood on his shirt. On Friday, TMZ released video of Sanchez from the moments before he allegedly accosted and beat a 69-year-old truck driver. Sanchez, per TMZ.com, was roaming at a time, stumbling around downtown Indianapolis in roughly 20 minutes of surveillance footage. He faces multiple criminal charges, including felony battery. Separately, the alleged victim, Perry Toll, has sued Sanchez and Fox for the injuries suffered during the fight with Sanchez. Authorities reportedly have more video, whether it's leaked privately or played publicly. We'll all see it eventually. So here are some of the more bizarre details about it, what happened. Mark Sanchez used to be a quarterback in the NFL, most prominently for the New York Jets. Tenure ending after about 4 years with the infamous butt fumble. Ran right into the rear end of one of his own offensive linemen, lost a football, which was returned for a touchdown. Kind of a sort of the microcosm of the New York Jets since they won the Super Bowl in 1969. And more details are emerging regarding the incident that resulted in former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez being stabbed and then arrested in Indianapolis over the weekend while preparing to call Sunday's game between the Raiders and Colts via the probable cause affidavit supporting the arrest, as explained by Jay Jackson of the Indianapolis Star. The victim was a 69-year-old truck driver who had parked a work box truck at a loading dock to collect used cooking oil from a hotel kitchen. The altercation began via the story posted by Michaela Springer of WishTV.com when Sanchez told the driver he couldn't stop his truck where it was parked. Sanchez added that he had spoken to the manager of the hotel. The victim said he would call his own manager to figure out what was happening. Sanchez then climbed up into the cab of the truck. He leaned over the driver's seat and he looked in toward the middle area between the seats. The victim told Sanchez he wasn't allowed inside the truck. Sanchez, who per the victim smelled of alcohol and slurred his words, kept repeating that he had spoken to a manager and they did not want the victim to replace the fryer oil. Security footage shows that Sanchez followed the victim as he walked around the truck and attempted to get the attention of a hotel security guard. Sanchez then blocked the victim's effort to get inside the truck. The surveillance footage shows Sanchez shoving the victim backward. From the quotes in the article published by the Star, Sanchez was seen throwing the victim against the wall and then to the ground. At one point, pepper spray wiped his face again, and advanced toward the victim. So then this 69-year-old man became fearful that Sanchez would kill him, the former NFL quarterback. He reached for his knife and stabbed Sanchez 2 or 3 times in the chest. Sanchez reacted with a look of shock and then left the scene. For his part, Sanchez told police he didn't recall what happened after grabbing for a window. He said while being interviewed in the hospital he didn't know who had stabbed him or where it had happened. Sanchez, who was hospitalized with critical injuries, was arrested on 3 misdemeanors: battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. The victim was not arrested. Saturday's statement from the Indianapolis Police Department emphasized that the ultimate decision as to whether Sanchez will face formal charges will be made by the prosecutor's office. So Sanchez, after a uneventful NFL career with looks like the Jets, Eagles, Cowboys, Broncos, and per the ESPN article, the Washington. Hold on. Sorry, gotta pause this for a minute. Sorry about that. The Washington in ESPN's article. Weird. Jets, Eagles, Cowboys, Broncos, and the Washington. What were they called in 2018? I don't know. Must not have been important. Alright. So he's been suspended by Fox for this because it's not exactly a good look for some dude, one of their employees, getting into a brawl with senior citizens at all. Earlier, they had people, politicians, coming saying, this is why, we can't let these damn Democrats run their unsafe cities, which, whatever you think of that, it turns out, no, this wasn't anything about soft on crime policies or anything of the sort. It was just some dude, drunk, entitled jackass who got what inevitably happens to him. I mean, really, what more is there to be said? Turns out that day, the Raiders, like Mark Sanchez, were carved up in Indianapolis as well. They lost 42-6 to the Colts. So, obviously, with the name Samus Mahomes, I am I've been a Chiefs fan for a long time. Seen a lot of really god-awful football over the years. So, seeing them be in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, winning 3 of them, newest dynasty and all that crap is all very, very bizarre to me. So, really don't know what to make of all of this as far as, actually watching it. Lost to Jacksonville. I don't want to rewatch that. Chris Jones did say that he kind of gave up on the play, which is obvious to anyone with eyes. No wonder he shut down his social media for a few days. So, but despite all of that, it's just this feeling that I'm getting that they're going to wind up going to go on some stupid, run late in the season, finish 10-7. They're probably not going to win the division. Maybe they will. It seems like it's anybody. It does seem like it's anybody's year this year. So, I don't know. Could just go on another crazy Super Bowl run. I'd love to show you a video, but the NFL, you see, they're very aggressive about their copyright enforcement. Kind of like Disney. Just like, which is funny because they just exchanged for ESPN owning NFL Red Zone and the NFL Network. The NFL has purchased a 10% stake in ESPN. So, I had a video, one of the first videos I had ever streamed on this platform. 2 people watching. I had about 2 subscribers. I showed video from Daily Motion, which is a relatively obscure sort of streaming site. It was Dante Hall's sort of kickoff return. It was against the Denver Broncos, 2003. very sort of famous, kind of goes back and forth on the field while there's totally not like 10 guys blocking the Broncos players in the back. It was like almost the refs were just impressed with this too. You know, they should be grabbing the flags and it should be just raining flags, but it's not. It's not. No, went in for a touchdown. I showed this. The next day, I get this automated notification from the NFL demanding that I take this down or the entire video gets taken down. So, no, I cannot show anything related to football. I can't even show anything related to college football because I remember I saw another guy's stream. It was also relatively obscure. He's a big Ohio State Buckeyes fan. So he got his video taken down. Just don't show anything related to football. It's not going to end well for anyone involved. Speaking of which, I saw about halfway through the college football season too. I saw that my team lost to Alabama, lost about 27-24. Ended on an interception return for a touchdown. I hate these games that just end like that. I'd rather just get blown out so I can just go do, by the third quarter, so I can just go do something else entirely, you know? That's what I'd rather do. That's really what I would much rather do than that. So I am going to, while I'm going to talk about this, I feel like I might as well just, I'm going to go bring up some video game footage here for you. I'm going to do this instead of talking about football. It's showing you showing you stuff that's not related. God damn it, I can't fucking talk right now. Jesus. Thank God they stopped watching after that. Oh boy. It'll be captured. Hold on. Pardon the noise. There it is. So, I guess I'm going to be doing that while I talk about the. Looks like I got some new league, the United Football League. Watched some of this earlier through the year. Seemed like it was pretty solid football. Merged between the United States Football League and the XFL. Looks like it was the third attempt at that after the abortive attempt during the 2020 season for reasons that I think if you know anything about the pandemic itself, I mean, if you know, you know. I just said it, the pandemic. So it got stopped after 5 games. For obvious reasons, you can't have tens of thousands of people crowding there. Well, at least that was the logic in March anyway. I'm not going to comment any further on that. It's not the spirit of this. So, what the heck? Wow, this is something else. Oh no, this doesn't normally happen. Ah, there you go. I actually went to a game back about a couple of years ago. Went to the St. Louis Battlehawks. They are sort of the successor team to the St. Louis Rams after they had left the city back in 2015. It was rather contentious. Guy, he was totally, he's a good local boy. He's not going to move the team at all to Los Angeles. Ignore the fact he's already bought like a metric fuck ton of land over in Inglewood, and it's obvious he was up to no good. But he told those people in St. Louis, no, I'm not going to move the Rams. I'm totally, I'm proud to be from Missouri. And no, he was, spoiler alert, his promises not to move the team were about as real as the guy's hair, which is totally a toupee. Rams leave. This XFL comes around. So kind of looks like it's going to be a big success. Pandemic throws a few, monkey wrenches in that. So they come back. The Rock comes back, starting the US and UXFL. Fox starts a United States Football League after that. Obviously, so they can't really, for some reason, there's not like a huge market for mid-football in the spring when everyone's kind of like focusing on baseball season, college basketball, hockey, if you're some particularly deranged individual. So they decided to merge. And got the Football League. Does pretty well, actually. Kind of exceeds expectations that first year. It kind of goes with some growing pains in this second year. Attendance is down about 5%. TV ratings, more critical, are down by about 25%. That's not exactly great for the long-term longevity of the league. So the UFL decides to involve this guy, Mike Riepel, who decides to take a co-owning stake in the league, along with the Rock. And Redbird Capital is involved with the USFL. And he decides, all right, we need to change directions. All of these games are like in 70,000 seat stadiums, but you're only getting like 12,000 on the higher end of attendance. That looks terrible, so we're going to move these teams into soccer stadiums. Controversially, one of these teams is the Michigan Panthers, who were relocated despite having a massive increase in attendance. But here's the issue with that. Ford Field was one of these... they were one of these sort of markets they couldn't really, they're getting bilked for it. It was like $500,000 per game, 5 times a year, $2.5 million. And even with the tickets they're selling, at best you're barely breaking even if they're all like buying the $50 tickets, which are not. And even a lot of reports even then were, oh no, they're actually giving away more tickets than they're selling, so they're losing a lot of money. They had to move them. Pissed off a bunch of people. There was also another team, Memphis. Very bad attendance. And it's in a bad area of town. Memphis is kind of a rough place right now. And the team itself sucks. There's renovations going on with the stadium. It's in a part of the city that's kind of also going through a lot of highway reconstruction. I mean, there's really just a lot of things going against rather mid-football being played. So, team sucks. Average attendance is less than 4,000. That's announced. It looks like it's probably half that. And you're talking about, again, a situation where they're more giving away tickets, even with that awful sort of performance. So, obviously, they got to go. Another team in San Antonio, they had to move they had only 4 games with the NCAA tournament. So, obviously, they got to go, despite apparently having a relatively good relationship with these cities. But when the possibility of hosting a championship game in the case of Michigan is preempted by, from what I understood later, was a sound check for the Kendrick Lamar concert. That would be 3 days later. When you get preempted for that over a potential championship game, well, it kind of shows you, how highly they think. And they're charging you $500,000 for any kind of gameplay there. So, from that perspective, you don't really have much of a choice. And part of the reason I delayed this stream was trying to maybe get a better sort of grasp on the situation with this minor league. It's kind of silly, but I want to make sure I got as much as clear of a story as possible before I go live with it. Well, and you have all this crap with Mark Sanchez happening, and that got my attention too. So they come out this week. They relocate these markets from Detroit, Memphis, and San Antonio over to Orlando, Louisville, and Columbus, respectively. Unclear exactly which teams are going where at this time. But the new priority seems to be, let's put these teams over in soccer stadiums. And that is kind of the sort of the aim there. So they've, looks like the team in Columbus is going to be called the Aviators, are playing in the old Columbus Crew Stadium. Seats about 21,000. Louisville looks like they're going to be over in this Lynn Family Stadium, which is going to host, looks like about 11,000 people. Apparently, capacity can be expanded up to 15. Orlando looks like they're playing in the stadium where the Orlando Football FC team is playing. And the Orlando Pride seats about 22,000. Obviously, this sounds like it's going to look a lot better than, trying to sell minor league football in NFL-sized stadiums. That didn't work out so well outside of St. Louis, which has its own sort of issues over the years. So this guy is rather ambitious. Looks like he's going to try to expand to markets. 2 teams every 2 years. End goal being having 16 teams by 2034. But who is this guy? This is a gentleman by the name of Mike Riepel, founder of Vitamin Water and Body Armor sports drinks. Pirates Booty Snacks. This guy knows how to build like markets from the ground up. Managed to create like a challenger to Gatorade, which is also pretty remarkable. So if anyone's going to do this, it's going to be a guy like this. With that, he also sort of relocated markets to where the Dallas Burn play, with the Dallas Renegades and Houston Gamblers, to another soccer stadium. So that's kind of the idea here. They're wanting to make sure it has a better viewing audience. That's what they're kind of taking away from this. But obviously, over the years, this is the 3rd season for the UFL, which is tied for the longest spring football league since the United States Football League in the mid-'80s, which infamously led by a future president who would challenge the NFL in court of law. Famously won, but the damages were limited to $1. United States Football League folds later. I mean, really, the history with that is kind of fascinating in and of itself. Yeah, I really don't have much else with that going on right now. So, someone's saying the stock market's crashed. Well, let's take a look at that. What else is going on? Huh. Looks like we got Chinese tariffs. Well, I think I'm going to see if I can we'll just maybe kind of switch things up a bit. Hello, Bruce. Everyone, come in if you want. Go to the... Yeah. So, yeah, looks like we're just going to do that. I really, someone I planned to come in did not want this. Looks like he didn't want to come in. That's fine. I will, we'll do that. Let's just kind of chill for a bit. I guess the football shit didn't work out. Gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. So why don't I just kind of go to an intermission?